Welcome everyone to today's live stream, which is episode 6 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Barbarian gameplay series. Once again, I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. Hope you have some fun. On an administrative note today, I've got guests over today, so if you do happen to hear anything that gets picked up on the live stream in the background, forgive me. I'm completely ignoring my guests in favor of all of you today, so you're welcome. But everything else should be just about normal today. So, for a recap, at the end of last live stream, we had pretty much cleared out the Blighted Village. There's a lot of content there. We had gone through the Goblin ambush. We had gone through rescuing the Deep Gnome, who had been captured by some goblins and some wargs, and we had dealt with the very large trio of enemies over in the abandoned house. And now what we're going to do is we're going to finish looting the above ground areas of the Blighted Village, and we're going to head back to Savannah's Grove and sell off all of that inventory, and we're going to move a couple of items around. And then after we've done that, we're going to take a long rest and see if there are any more conversations that are going to pop up during all of that. And then we're going to head down into what everybody's waiting for, which is in the Necromancer's cave, and see how far we can get into the Whispering Depths today. I don't know if we'll have enough time to finish the Whispering Depths, but we'll see. It's going to depend on how easy the combat goes. But we'll take a look and see what we can do. So, without any further ado, I think let's go ahead and just jump right in. And we'll pick up with a bunch of looting in the village. We had looted about half of it, I believe, last time. We're going to go and clear out the last two above ground buildings. And while we're there, we'll introduce some of the ways to get into the Whispering Depths and the way to get into the Necromancer's cave. And then we'll head back and clear out our inventories and take a long rest and get ready for the combat. So here we go. We're outside this abandoned house here, which we had talked about earlier, that has the calcified web in it. So let's just go ahead and continue looting all of these other areas. And I think we looted these crates that were out here last time. So let's head into the building and hold Alt and see what we can pick up. So it looks like there's a book over here that we can pick up. We'll just continue on looting and see if there's anything in here. There's normally not much in this building. There are some items inside this room here which you'll be able to pick up, so we don't need any bottles. There's a light hammer here on the stool. There's a torch over here which we don't need. Shears we don't need. There's no use for shears currently in early access that I've been able to find. Maybe at some point they will, so we'll see. Nothing on the goblin tracker, so we will pick up the battle axe and the spear. Nothing else back here, and we'll take a look inside some crates. None of this is worth looting, and there is an old key here on top of this chest, which we're going to take. And we'll see what the old key does here in a second. Okay, good. We got some camp supplies. Always useful. And we will go ahead and take the dagger, which is sitting up here on top of the mantle, if our short-legged dwarf can get up there, which it looks like he can. So, we had talked about the calcified web previously. This is one of the multiple entrances to get down into the Whispering Depths area, the starter area which goes into that. This is going to take us down into the forge area, which is part of the Complete the Masterwork Weapon quest, which we'll be getting to here in a little bit after we come back to this area. And again, nothing worth looting here. The shabby wooden doors are locked, but that old key that we picked up unlocks that door and allows us to come in here into this basement area. So we'll go ahead and explore this basement area and loot everything in here. So again, we're going to hold Alt. We've got a book over here. We do have a lever here beside the door. That lever unlocks the door from the inside. Again, if you come down through the calcified web, you jump down through it, you land here in this area. And at that time, you might not have looted the key from outside, so you'd come back through here up the stairs, and you can use that lever to unlock the doors and get out. So the game's not going to trap you in here. It's going to give you some way to get out, but that's what that lever's for. So again, we're just going to take a look through all of the crates. Rope, tongs, and shears again. Not any use for rope here in the early access that I've been able to find. Thieves' tools, obviously going back to Astarion, we need to keep up his stock of thieves' tools. We'll go ahead and loot the cupboard over here. Picked up some gold. There's normally not anything in any of these bottle racks, but that may change when we get into the full version of the game. So get in the habit of just going through and looting everything that you can, because what you see currently here in the early access may not be the same as what happens when the game comes out in full version. Again, that's everything that we're going to find up here, so let's head downstairs. And there's some more crates and stuff we can check through here. Oh, we got a trident. Interesting. Tridents are very interesting weapons in that they're versatile weapons, which means that they can be wielded two-handed and increase the damage that goes along with them. Or if you equip something along like a shield or something like that, they can also be wielded single-handed. But they can also be thrown, as you can see. So they're interesting weapons in tabletop more than they are in the early access game of Baldur's Gate 3 here, but still a very interesting weapon to have. Okay, nothing that we really want to deal with here. And we've got some sacks that we can loot. And more bottle racks. Again, not normally anything in them, but always get in the habit of checking them. We'll loot the cupboard here. More thieves' tools. Astarion's going to have a lot of thieves' tools on him, so we'll probably want to split those up and sell some of them at this point, because the thieves' tools and disarm tools do take up a lot of inventory carry weight. So you can see that there's what looks like another path up here, and you can get up there. If you go into hide real quick, you can see that it says can't reach the destination here, but you can actually jump up here, and your characters will jump up on top of the crates and jump up to this upper area. We're actually going to be doing that as our way of entering the Whispering Depths, but for right now we're not going to worry about it, and we're just going to go on continue looting this area and kind of, like I say, getting us ready for continuing on to the Whispering Depths afterwards. So just some crates down here to take care of. Trunks. There's a maul in here, which is a nice two-handed weapon, but one that, again, is not going to really compare to what we're carrying with the Everburn blade. So you see that we did pass the perception check on the chest here, and the chest is definitely trapped. So what we'll do is we'll move everybody back over here on this side of the room. We'll split the party, and we'll take Astarion over to try and disarm the chest. This will be our first roll of the day. It'll let us know exactly how well we're going to be doing today. So again, remember we got that +4 dexterity. We got that increase from +3 to +4 when we leveled him up. And he's still happy. He's done his vampire thing since the last time that we've rested. So he's got a +1 from happy. So the total bonus right now is +9. The DC is 10. So even without adding in guidance, there's the only way I can fail this is with a natural 1. So we're not even going to bother throwing guidance in here on it. We're just going to try and roll for the 10 DC. And we didn't need any bonuses to help it out. And now we can open up the chest. We'll send the gold over to our Barbarian. And we have Highcliffe's blueprints. Now, you can read these, and it talks about that there are 3 blueprints here for 3 different weapons. A greatsword, a sickle, and a dagger. And it talks about the dimensions of them, and it says it has some foraging instructions. And it says that there's an unusual ingredient, which is susser bark. It says the susser bark can only be applied to an ordinary unmodified blade. Okay, this adds us a journal entry for this.
If only I knew where to find some.
And Astarion didn't pass his nature check, so he does not know where to find susser bark. But susser bark is only found in the Underdark. So we'll be traveling to the Underdark, but we're not going to be there anytime soon. So here we have another wooden chest. So we can go ahead and lockpick this. Now we have a higher DC here of 15. We have a total bonus of 9. So now we'll throw in guidance, which is going to give us a 10 to 13 bonus, and see if we can pick this lock here. Perfect. And we got a 4 out of our 1d4 on guidance, so doing okay on the rolls today. Okay, and we pick up a steel forged sword. We can do some other looting while we're here. Okay. Now we can come back down and we'll group everybody back up. Okay, we do need to move some items off of me here just because he's encumbered. Let's go ahead and move some of these items to somebody else just so we can free up some carry weight. Okay, that should be good. So now we'll continue on looking through this area. We've got a broom over here, no use for it. Did pick up some more thieves' tools. So that's going to encumber Astarion, so to move some of these items off of him. Okay, so the steel forged sword is a +1 short sword, basically. So it's 1d6 +1 for him, compared to the 1d4 +1 on the dagger, so that's a straight upgrade. The scimitar is 1d6 as well, so this is a straight upgrade over the scimitar that I'm currently wielding. So we'll go ahead and change that out for the steel forged sword and let Astarion carry that as his primary melee weapon. So over here, just some more bags and trunks to search. Okay, we get into here and we have some weapons that are strewn about. And again, nothing much in here. We do have a glaive, which is another two-handed weapon with extra reach. Very, very useful when you get into close combat fights where you're trying to keep your distance and be able to move away without triggering an attack of opportunity. And last is this wooden crate. We did pass an investigation check here on the wall. And that investigation check reveals a cracked wall here, so you can go ahead and attack this wall. Okay, So he's not able to melee damage it, so we'll go ahead and damage it this way. This wall can be bugged a little bit. You saw when he tried to melee attack it that he went actually through the wall to try and hit it. So if it bugs out, then just use a ranged attack on it. Now coming through here is a way into the Whispering Depths. Okay, this is one of the ways to come into this area here. And then, like we had talked about earlier, there is another way by climbing up here and going up here on this path. That's the way we're going to end up going, but this is just another way into that area. Now what you see here is we have a melting furnace and we have some bellows. This is where you're going to complete the Craft the Masterwork Weapon quest. And we did pick up an additional piece of information about this quest. So we did find the blueprints and we need to forge one using some bark from a susser tree. So we'll need to find the susser tree bark and then we'll need to come back here. And remember what it said on the blueprints is that you can only apply susser bark to a normal unenchanted weapon. So whatever one of those weapons we want to craft, we'll need to bring an ordinary unenchanted version over here with us, with the susser bark, to be able to use this forge to be able to complete that quest. But since we're not anywhere near being able to get the susser bark yet, that'll all have to get delayed. So that completes our searching down here inside the basement. So we'll just go ahead and head back out the doors to the Blighted Village. Okay. Now, like we had mentioned on the previous section of the live stream, we have the well over here. The well is the third way to get down into the Whispering Depths. All three of them lead to slightly different areas, and they all have their own advantages and disadvantages. But for now, like I said, we're going to use that high road path that we ran into earlier as our way into the Whispering Depths. We're just going to have to delay that until we finish all the exploring and looting that we have around in here. Now, holding Alt, you can see we have quite a few things that are strewn around. We do have a book over here that we're going to pick up. And we have some cupboards and some trunks and things like that that we can search in here. We don't need a bottle to pick up. We have some camp supplies and some coffee. So we'll go ahead and pick those up and then we'll send those to our camp and we can loot this cupboard as well. Now over here we have a wardrobe and some books. And we have another barrel in here. Got some healing potions. Nice. We'll go ahead and probably redistribute some of our healing potions as well. You have some empty potion bottles, like we saw some of these downstairs in the basement as well. There was a bit of gold, so if you're really short on gold, you can pick those up and loot those as well. But I think we're going to be okay without them. Okay, now we'll head into the Apothecary shop here. And we've got some camp supplies up here on the mantle. We do have an antitoxin, which we'll want to pick up. We do have some empty potion bottles and some flasks and things like that that you can also pick up. And we have a lot of bottle racks and shelves and things like that to search over here. Over here on this side, we have, holding Alt, we have another antitoxin down here. The antitoxins are going to be important, so pick up as many as you can and make sure you distribute them amongst your different characters. And we have a potion of sleep. We have an apothecary's ledger here. We're going to go ahead and read that here in a second. But for now, make sure you pick it up. Holding Alt, nothing else to look at here. So we'll take the barrel and the basket and make sure that we do the same thing with these books and bookshelves and bottle racks as we did on the other side. Okay, so nice. A potion of fire resistance and a potion of vitality. We don't need the bottle. Okay, Now into the back area here, we have an herb hanger with nothing on it. We have another herb hanger here. Nothing, and we have a cupboard. Okay. So that just about finishes everything, and you can see that there's a wooden hatch here. If you go into the Apothecary's ledger, you can see this says the ledger is filled with instructions for plants, but it says one entry is underlined. Deliver specially requested plants to the cellar. Keep away from prying eyes. So that, in case you don't notice it, this is a way to pop up an additional quest to let you know that there's probably some stuff down here in the cellar that you want to check out. Okay? There will be. We are going to come back and deal with the Apothecary's cellar here in a little bit, but for now, we're going to continue searching the rest of the areas around the Blighted Village. Make sure we've looted everything that we possibly can before we head back. Okay, so I think that's everything now. Yeah, because we already looted all of this area here. So let's go ahead and use the rune circle here and travel back to Sylvanus' Grove.
I'm afraid you'll have to content yourself with vagrant chickens.
Okay, so we're going to head in here and clear out our inventories, move some items around between different people, and take our long rest. Well, let's go ahead and head down here. And see what we can do with Aaron here first.
A quick word. Refugees, adventurers, no one in years, and suddenly we're overwhelmed. Well met. And thank you for beating back those goblins. Most brave of you. Is there anything you need? Act fast if you do. The ritual will be complete before too long.
Okay, so let's see what he's got.
I no longer need.
Okay, so the leather armor +1 is still here, which would be a straight upgrade for Astarion to use. So let's go ahead and have Will sell off as much as he can. The leather armor +1's 1,200 gold. So let's go ahead and sell off all of the stuff that we need to get rid of here. So just clear out our weapons. Okay, we're going to keep Rain Dancer, obviously. Don't need this leather armor anymore. Okay, we don't need Lump's Warhorn. We talked about that last time. Because we killed Lump, the Warhorn sounding it doesn't do anything, so we can just sell it at this point. We don't need to keep the instructions and the blueprints. Send those to camp. And the spoons, and we've just about cleared him out. So let's look at Astarion here, and yeah, he's got way too many thieves' tools, so we can't split those right now. So, but we will sell off a couple of things here. Okay, and we'll come back and we'll split these thieves' tools apart and let him free up some carry weight.
Sylvanus, guide your path.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll split these into... We'll keep 5 thieves' tools on us, so he's going to have 3 and 17. We'll send the 17 over to Will here. And then the rest of this, we're going to move over some items. So the owlbear egg we are going to sell. The barbarian clothes we're going to sell. And we'll start moving over some items here that we're going to sell. Okay, we are going to give her, we're going to give Shadowheart the helmet. Fine. We'll move it here and then transfer it onto her. Okay, and all the rest of this stuff we'll just move over and get ready to sell it. We'll probably run Aaron out of gold in trying to sell all of this. But that's fine because remember, we have another trader down inside the grove a bit farther, and we can sell the rest of the stuff down there. Fish head we need to send to camp. Short sword here. Okay. Pork loin we can send to camp. We don't need any of those, any of these camp supplies. And just send all of these to the camp. And we'll keep moving items over. Okay, all of these camp supplies. Okay, coffee, camp supplies. And then just a bunch of books remaining as well. So we'll have him sell the round flask. Potion of Vitality will stay here. And we've got antitoxins that we'll just move up here. Okay. And we do have a bunch more weapons that Shadowheart is carrying, which he will also end up selling. Okay. Probably quicker to do this and saves my wrist from having to constantly move back and forth. Okay. So I think that's good for now. We're going to actually send Volo's Guide to Baldur's Gate. We're going to send that to our camp. There's a couple of Volo's books in early access. There isn't a use for them right now in early access, but that doesn't mean that there won't be in the full version. So,
anything else?
Obviously, Volo would probably like to have his books back.
But please, remember,
just because that's not been implemented in early access doesn't mean that it won't be in the full version. So, you want to make sure stuff like that looks like it has some significance, you want to hold on to it. Make sure that you're not getting rid of it. Okay, so it looks like everything's on Will here to sell. So the Thieves' Tools, you can see 17 of them are 204 gold just by themselves. So it's pretty important to be able to sell the extras off, so to speak, just to get rid of them. So what we're looking to do is free up some carry weight. So we're going to get rid of a bunch of the heavier items that he has, just so we can clear up some of this carry weight before we move over to the other trader, because we're going to run Aaron out of gold here right now. Okay, so we do have the leather armor +1, so we're going to go ahead and buy that. Okay, and now we can sell off the rest of this stuff to him, now that he's got more gold. Okay, the owlbear egg is worth 357 gold. Thieves' tools are worth 200 gold, so yeah, very worthwhile to sell those things off. Okay, and that pretty much ends our selling, I think. Just make sure, yes.
Sylvanus be with you.
Okay, so let's go check Aaron down here, or check Damon down here.
No helping it.
And we'll see if he has anything interesting to sell that we can afford.
Doesn't taste half bad.
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
Okay, so we do have the scale mail +1 at 1,875 gold. So let's see. We also have a short bow +1, which is a straight upgrade for some of our characters. But the scale mail +1, we already have one of those. It would be a straight upgrade to give another one to Shadowheart.
And you quit in the middle of your shift.
And we did pick up
You sound like your father.
medium armor proficiency,
Well, it was his caravan. Right.
I believe,
Food. Water.
for Astarian, didn't we? Let's just make sure of that. So, yes. You can see here the Astarian now has medium armor proficiency.
No helping it.
So, he can use that straight up, and that was a mistake that I just made on my part. We don't need the leather armor +1 because he has medium armor proficiency. So getting him the scale mail +1 would have been a much better use for our gold.
Looking for steel? I have,
So that was a
well,
mistake. Don't make that
something
mistake
close.
if you're playing along yourself. So the Oak Father's Embrace we're not going to use. So we're going to send that to Will so that he can sell that. The very heavy great axe we're going to keep for now
When we get to the city.
as a secondary type weapon in addition to the Everburn blade. You can see this is 2d6 here, and this is 1d12. So it's got a lower minimum and the same maximum on it. The difference is that this one obviously does fire damage. There are times when you might not want to use fire damage in an attack, like if you're standing in the middle of an oil patch or something like that, where if you light it on fire accidentally, it's going to explode and harm you as well. So having a backup non-flame weapon that does the same damage just without the fire is always a good thing to have. And it's a heavy weapon, which means my great weapon fighting skill still takes effect when wielding it. So definitely want to keep that where it is. So the Gloves of Power we're going to keep for right now. The Spider Sack we're also going to keep. Now Will has some Void Bulbs as well, but here we've got some other items that we want to deal with. So the Oak Father's Embrace we're not going to use. So we're going to have Will sell this off. Okay. The Moondrop Pendant we are going to use, but the leather armor +1, we can, if we change to Will wearing leather armor +1, his armor class is going to go up to 12. Right now, his armor class, well, the armor class from this is going to be 12. He has a +2 from Dexterity. So he's going to have an armor class of 14. Him wearing the simple robes right now gives him the a +2 from Dexterity and a +2 from, he's currently under Shield of Faith right now. And we can see that
Hero at heart.
on his character. He's also wearing mage. He's also got mage armor right now, which is adding a +3 to his base armor class. Now, if I change this over to leather armor +1, I cannot use mage armor anymore. So, his armor class right now is 14. He's getting a 10 base armor class. He's getting +3 from mage armor and +1 from dexterity right now. So if I changed over to leather armor +1 on him, he would be getting a 13 armor class because he's getting 12 from the armor and 1 from dexterity, and you see his mage armor goes away. So actually him just wearing the robes and casting mage armor on himself, which he can do just as an action, gets him the highest armor class that he can get right now. So the leather armor +1 is just not useful for him at the current stage of where he's at. So we're gonna stick with our clothing and our mage armor instead of the leather armor +1. So we just bought it, but
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
but we are gonna want to sell it. Okay, and as part of that, we can now have enough to buy the scale mail +1. Okay. Now we have a warped headband of intellect that we picked up, and we do want to let him wear that as well. It increases the wearer's intelligence to 17, but this allows him to be our the person to pass intelligence checks and charisma checks as well. So we have one person who we can go into conversations with and take care of both types of interactions. So we are going to send this over to Shadowheart. Okay, so now Shadowheart. Well, you know, actually, let's send this to Astarion. Astarion's got an armor class of 15 now. So his armor class is now 17. If we put it on Shadowheart, our armor class would go from 18 to 19. And it's better just to have Astarion have a little bit higher armor class to go along. That gets him a +2. It only get her a +1. And her armor class is already quite high. So, the Moondrop Pendant. We picked this up. So whenever the wearer has less than 50% hit points, or 50% hit points or less, sorry, they do not provoke opportunity attacks. So this is one of those options where, or one of those things where if you're close to somebody, like we talked about previously, I can get into combat, and if I don't want to use dancing lights, I can put the Moondrop Pendant on, and when he gets low on hit points, he can use it to escape or to move around without, you know, getting any attacks of opportunity against him when he's doing it. So I think we're good with that from that standpoint. So let's kind of take stock of our inventory here and make sure we know where everything's at. So we do want to sell the leather armor. Okay, everything else here is fine. Yes, everybody's got at least one potion of speed, which is good. So now as far as our antitoxins go, we've got one here. Thought we picked up more antitoxins than that. The moss-covered key we're going to send to camp. Something's wrong. That should be the old, that was labeled as the old key when we picked it up. So not entirely sure if that's, because it's not letting me right click on it either. So it might be a little bugged right now. And Astarion does not need to be carrying around any of these things. So that will get his carry weight back down. Okay, the spider egg sac is weighing him down quite a bit. But if somebody's going to use that, it's definitely going to be him. So let's go ahead and split up some potions here. And we'll take 3 of these. Put them on Will. We'll leave 3 of them here, and that's 4, 5, and 5. She has healing spells that she can touch and heal herself with, as well as the potions of healing, so we'll leave it kind of like that. And just make sure not missing anything else. Okay, there are 2 antitoxins here, so we want to make sure that we spread out our antitoxins as much as we can.
Or a butcher. Sure, blood excites me.
Okay. I think the last thing that we'll do here is have Will sell off that leather armor.
I have, well, something close.
And we should be ready to go. Okay, so nothing else in here that we want to pick up. Yeah, nothing else that we'd be able to afford. The short bow +1 is a straight upgrade for what I'm carrying right now. But again, can't afford it right now anyway, so let's just go ahead and head back out, and we'll get ready to do our long rest.
Wait. One more time.
Okay, so it's interesting that I am highlighting all of the characters. Okay, let's head up here. And once we get up here outside by the
I'll catch a break.
rune circle, we will take a long rest.
Excuse me. Since this tadpole, I'm barely a monster at all.
Okay, so let's
I
go
just
ahead and
want to
take our
survive,
long rest here.
same as you.
I don't see a problem. As long as Mr. Fan.
Alright, we do have some conversations that we want to take care of while we're here. So let's talk to Astarion first.
There you are, my friend. Are you now? Don't make promises you can't keep, darling. Thankfully, I've had my needs met this evening. I found a bear. He took a little of my blood. I took all of his. You're comparing plonk to vintage wine. You can make merry with either, but they're not the same. But Cazador fed me rats and bugs. And when you're used to drinking from a sewer, even plonk is a marked improvement. I existed. That was enough for him. He reveled in having power over me. Because those with power can do whatever the hell they want. Indeed they are. Now that I can walk in the sun, well, that opens all manner of doors. It could open some coffins, too. No, these tadpoles are a gift I intend to use to the fullest. You should do the same.
Okay, standard stuff from Astarion there. Let's go ahead and talk to Lae'zel.
Speak.
So nothing new here. We'll talk to Will.
Something's on my mind.
Well met.
Okay, nothing here. Talk to Shadowheart.
May the darkness protect you. I don't know. Something to do with the tadpole, who's to say? Another mystery to add to the pile. Very. It wanted to lash out at you. Luckily, I was there to stop it and save your life. Anything else? We don't know how this works, not really. Maybe it varies a little, person to person. Don't worry. It won't matter once we find a cure. And if we don't find one, well, we'll be past our worries then. No. Whatever it is certainly not that. Was there something else? I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely. Fine. Just keep out of matters that don't concern you.
Okay, a lot of the same things with Shadowheart there. And last, we'll talk to Gale.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Think of it as tribute. The kind a king might pay to a more powerful neighbor to avoid invasion. As long as I pay, there will be peace. But should I ever stop, along comes a war. I can assure you, the battlefield would extend well beyond the borders of my body alone.
Okay, that's just about it there as well. So... okay, so let's go ahead and get our camp supplies.
What's inside?
We'll also try and drop off that key. Let's try and do that now. Yeah, I can't. That key is bugged. I don't remember it ever being bugged in previous playthroughs. That's kind of strange. But let's take a look at our camp supplies. So... we've got, again, Salame as a melee weapon. So that's 3 plus 21 is 24, 30, 35. This should make 40. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get our long rest done. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of our post-rest type things. So we'll go ahead and get our mage armor going again. Okay, we do have now 3 rage charges again to be able to utilize. And everything else should be okay here. Okay, so let's go ahead and head back to the Blighted Village, and we'll head down underneath the Apothecary shop. And continue on here with the Cellar. Okay, so down here in the cellar again, the first thing you always do is start looting the various things and some potions of healing, which he is going to send over to Shadowheart. She was 3 short. Compared to everybody else, there's a potion of fire resistance up here. And a bottle rack to search. Okay, and again, like previous, there are some large bottles that you can pick up if you'd like down here for a little bit of gold. So we do have some camp supplies. Okay. More camp supplies, and if you saw up on the shelf, we do have potion of healing up here we can grab, as well as some other bottles and things like that. Again, like I said, if you'd like to squeeze every bit of gold that you can out of this, there is the opportunity to do that. So we'll head in here to this office area, search the desk. Nothing. There is an ink pot up here. There's some books that we can search. Okay, and you can see that just on the other side of this wall, there's another area here. Okay, there doesn't appear to be any way to get through it yet, but keep that in mind. Okay. Now we have a whole area over here. So there's a healer's log, another poison resistance, and a wooden chest here. Okay, so we're going to take all of those. And we do have some more camp supplies sitting on the shelf here. And just pick up. Okay. Spaces to search, and then again we have some camp supplies up here that we can just pick up. There's some garlic here. And moving along to this center section here. More crates to search. Holding alt, nothing up here that looks very important. Do have some bottle racks to search. Then over here to this corner. Okay, holding alt, we have a potion of healing up here on top. More bottles. Books that we can search. Okay, let's take the potion of healing. Okay, and now the table here in the middle, we've got some bottles. And again, another large bottle that you can pick up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to toggle our group here, and we're going to have Shadowheart cast guidance on Starian, and he's going to walk over this way.
Scratch marks on the floor.
Okay, so he passed his investigation check, and it said that there were some scratches down on the floor. So this thing obviously moves, and if you look around and move your camera around, you can see that it does move. So let's go ahead and loot the rest of these items over here. Okay, so we have a portrait.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
And take this landscape here. Okay. There we can pick it up. Now we can loot the wooden desk. Nothing. We do have some books here to search. We have some more books down here on the ground. And nothing. Okay, so now you need to find how to open this. But we also have some crates over here. Okay, and there's nothing here. So as you're looking around this area, you need to be thinking about how can this open up? Because it has a search icon on it, but that search icon just triggers the investigation check, which leads the same thing, that there are scratch marks on the floor. Well, remember that items in Baldur's Gate 3 are movable, meaning you can move boxes and candelabras and things like that around. So here, if you take this crate and you move it out of the way, there's a lever behind that crate. Keep that sort of stuff in mind when you're going through this game, that if you see stacked up items and you're looking for clues or secret doors or things like that, you can move those items out of the way to do your searching. Okay, and that lever triggers this door. Alright. We're going to head in here. There's going to be a camp supply here. And we're going to stop everybody right here. And we're going to go ahead and toggle everybody to hide, and we're going to split the group again.
I'm just waiting.
Okay, and we're going to take Astarian out here with us into this area. Okay, now inside this area, we're going to get an autosave. Inside this area, you see we have a bunch of caskets that are moldering. Okay, we do have some other items we can pick up here. We're going to go ahead and explore a little bit. There's a book over here that we can pick up.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay, so he failed his perception check there. So we're going to bring Shadowheart in here. I don't have to be hidden for this portion of it. He's going to cast guidance on himself. Okay, and she succeeded in her perception check, which basically found this dirt mound. We'll go ahead and open this up. Check thoughts. Hold person we'll send to Will. Sleep we'll send to Will. Now we're going to send her back. Once she gets back here, we're going to put her into hiding again. Okay. Now we're going to go back to Astarian to complete looking around back here. Alright, so we have a pickaxe that we can pick up. And there's another shovel back here if you need one. Okay, and again, more caskets. Another way to get across this area over here. Okay. Come over here into this corner. Okay, we have some camp supplies here.
To my pocket.
Okay. We're going to come up here. Alright, we can do some searching here.
Vacant as an orc skull.
I do love the dialogue from Astarian. Okay. Now, you can see that we have this mirror here. The mirror has to do with books that we've picked up throughout looking at things here. So, nothing in this gives you that, but the books that we picked up and looked at and read talked about various clues for this mirror. Now, when we talk to this mirror, we're going to have a couple of different ways to play the encounter. So let's kind of go over that. So first, if you click on one of these caskets, an undead is going to pop out of it and immediately become hostile. Now, what happens at that point is you have, if you roll higher than it, you have an opportunity to attack first, and if you kill it, then that's just the end of the combat. And you can go on to the next casket. However, if you don't kill it, then the first opportunity it gets, it's going to try and run away from you, go over to the nearest casket it can find, and open it up and let another undead out. Then that undead will attack you, and the other one will go to another casket and open it up, and then it will come and attack you. So if you're not able to kill them all in a single turn, then it can quickly get overwhelming, because you can see there's quite a few caskets in here in this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get something to help us out here with this fight, and that's the mirror. The mirror is a guardian, so to speak. It's the gatekeeper to the Necromancer's cave behind this. And it's going to ask you some questions. If you answer the questions right, it lets you in. If you answer the questions wrong, however, it's going to spawn a device that is going to go around this entire open area, including partway up here, and it's going to periodically explode and trail fire behind it. And in doing so, the explosions are going to open these caskets and cause damage to the undead that pop out of them. So we can use that to our advantage by intentionally failing the questions and then moving back out of the way as quickly as we can back to where we're sitting, and then let the device do its job and cause as much damage and death as it can. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do now.
I do not know this name. If you are known to my master, step forward and declare yourself an ally.
Okay, so now we do have some options. There is an intimidation option here, but we're gonna go this way.
Only a true ally of Lolth may pass. What think you of the Zolkir known as Zastan?
Okay, so I failed a history check here to go along with it, but the correct answer is here. The Lolth was trying to escape from Zastam.
You are no Zolkir, but are you wise? Tell me, why might one use balsam ointment?
Okay, this is the second one, and you can see that we read the doctor's journal upstairs. So you use balsam to clean a wound.
Acceptable. Finally. If you could see anything in me, what would it be?
Okay, so here is the choice, which is going to determine whether you pass this or fail this. So the ultimate choice that's going to pass this here is this choice here in the middle. Lolth was looking for power, a way to successfully gain the advantage over his old masters and that sort of stuff. So choosing this option is going to fail it, and that's what I'm going to do so that I can intentionally get the device to come out.
Weak. A poor choice. You will be purged.
Okay, there you can see the device emerge from the door, or from the mirror. And you can see what it's doing. You can see there's one of the undead. There's another one. You can see it killed that one outright. It's causing more damage here as it goes around. And that's what we wanted it to do. Okay, you can see it's still causing damage. Pretty soon it's going to calm down and it's going to make its way back inside the mirror. Okay. Now we can wait for all of these fire surfaces to go away. See, there's one turn here. Now you can see that we have 4 active undead out here. Okay. So we can go ahead and initiate combat on these 4 and keep everybody else kind of back and out of the way. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and attack from here. There's disadvantage because it's outside of normal range, but we're really just trying to initiate combat at this point. Okay, perfect. Outstanding. Okay, so that worked. We're going to go back into hiding.
I'll strike you down. Don't waste a step.
Okay. So, the enemy is surprised. Okay, so there's one turn that they're not going to be able to do anything here. Right, and during that time, we're going to go ahead and get another shot off here on this Guardian. Killed him, and now we're going to move back out of the way. And you can see my movement speed is now 10.5 meters. And that's because of the haste helm that I'm wearing, which is giving me momentum for 3 turns. So, very, very useful item to have. Okay, now we can end our turn. Okay, we can end our turn here again. Okay, so now it's just me again at this point, but they can't reach me from here. So I'm going to go ahead and end my turn again and let them dash in here. Oh, so they did get an attack off, so... Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rage. And now I'm going to make an attack on the... Actually, we're not yet. We're going to get Shadowheart to cast Bless. That's going to put her into combat. But now,
survival is all that matters.
If I look at my attack, I have a plus from Bless and a minus from Great Weapon Master all in. Okay, so you can see that my percent to hit is still low, but it's not, you know, horrifically bad. Okay, so. What we want to do here is be able to, hopefully,
keeping quiet.
We're going to utilize Will, and we're going to cast Hex on this Guardian. Okay, that's going to put him into the fight. And now, Astarion is going to have a chance here to make a sneak attack ranged. See what we can do. Okay, so we got it down to 2. That puts him into the fight, so I'm going to use... my bonus action's already gone, so... Let's, Okay. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and make a regular attack against him at this point. Okay, and it did miss, so... We're gonna get 2 ranged attacks against us here. Okay. So now, what we want Will to do is just to end this here, if he can. Okay. He's going to move up here, and he's going to reapply Hex. Okay, and he can't see them, it doesn't like. So we'll wait, and we'll go to Astarion. Why are they showing as invisible or something? Kinda weird. Okay, so now we want to dash. Yes. We want to dash. That's going to get us here. And it's going to give us lightning charges because we dashed, and now we can use our Frenzied Strike against the Agile Guardian. And now you see we have plus from Bless, plus from lightning charges, and a big minus from Great Weapon Master all in. Okay, so a miss there. Alright. Now Will should be able to reapply his Hex here. Okay, and use an Elder's Blast. Okay.
This is good.
Now Astarion doesn't have advantage here.
Yes, here.
In shadows? No. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and make a regular ranged attack. Okay, and again we have lightning charges, so we'll just move up and use our main hand attack. And look at that. That is a number 20 there in the middle of that. So you can start to see what Great Weapon Master does when you get into a fight. So now we'll group everybody up and we'll start our looting of this area. Okay, we have a longbow. Interesting, we'll look at it here in a minute. Okay, now there is one moldering casket that didn't get broken. And that moldering casket is going to spawn an enemy. Let's go ahead and finish our searching here. See that we do have a dark journal down here. This is where you learn some of the clues to help you answer the mirror. You can say that his name is, he's going by the name Ilantoth. He escaped. He can never return home. So that whole, I want to return to my home, that's not who he is. That's why that answer is wrong, because he'd be put to death. So they're looking, he's looking to be able to reanimate corpses. Okay. And will the Zolkirs find me before I can bring her back? I cannot say, but if they do come for me, they'll have to face the guardians I've raised. So we escaped from the Zolkirs, so that's why you want to know, answer that you are no Zolkir, that you hate the Zolkirs. Okay? So that's kind of the stuff that helps you figure out what where is search the cellar. Okay, that's the additional information that we got. Right, so these are the kind of things that help you answer those questions the correct way. So you don't have to just read a guide or something online to be able to get in. You can use the things in the game to be able to do it. So let's go ahead and search this casket, and it's going to spawn an undead. Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
What path lies before me?
So we do have another one that was killed outright over here. Alright. Now let's look at the longbows we picked up. So longbows are martial weapons. You have to be proficient in them. The longbow is 1d8, whereas the light crossbow is also 1d8. But this is a martial weapon. So here, this is 1d6 plus 1. This is 1d8. So if I look at what we're getting here from him, now 1d8 plus 4. So I have the opportunity, the same minimum, or a minimum now of 5, whereas I had a minimum of 6 previously, but now I have a maximum of 12, whereas I had a maximum of 11 last time. So the ranged bonus here, that's a straight upgrade for Astarion. So this short bow plus 1, which is not a martial weapon, this is a simple weapon, I can now upgrade Shadow Heart's damage to be, a straight upgrade for her. Okay. So I think that does it. Now we do want to send these items camp. We do have a few things that we picked up as far as camp supplies, so don't want those weighing us down. And all of these expensive items we also want to make sure we're sending to Will, because he's going to end up selling it all off. Okay, and the Scroll of Summon Closet, he's going to keep it well. Okay, so again, we've got some more camp supplies that we want to get rid of. Some more books. He can keep the arrow. Okay, and now we will go up here again and we will deal with the interaction of the mirror.
You are not my master. If you are his ally, step forward and declare it. Only a true ally of Ilantoth may pass. What think you of the Zolkir known as Zastan?
Okay, so again, failed my history check here. But I do have a Barbarian option to smash the mirror. I just don't need to do that.
You are no Zolkir, but are you wise? Tell me, why might one use balsam ointment? acceptable. Finally. If you could see anything in me, what would it be?
Okay, so he wants to continue on, is basically what he wants to do. So
You seek to survive. You seek power. Be welcome.
okay, and you see the wording of those choices is going to vary from character to character.
A well-guarded laboratory. What were they hiding down here?
Okay, so now we can again start here and just start looking around and searching and looting this place down here. So got a bunch of camp supplies. Now we do have a nightlight frond here. Some of these items are from the Underdark, and you can sell them in the Underdark for higher prices than you could sell them anywhere else. And we'll explore some of that mechanic once we get to the Underdark. Okay, so a bunch of bottles here. Bunch of things lying on the ground, but nothing that we can pick up. Okay, we can come around to this room. Okay, and again, some more camp supplies here. Okay, do have some bases that we can search. There is a large bottle you can pick up. Then over here you see there's a lever. That lever is what's going to open this wall. So now we can leave through this way instead of having to leave back through behind the bookcase that we found earlier. So holding Alt, you can see there's a rusted key here up on the shelf. That's why Alt is so useful. See how hard it is to see this key? So holding the Alt button down and then searching for things like that's a big benefit in the game. Don't ever forget to do so. We did pick up some crystals here, and they're just selling items, so you want Will to have those. We have some sacks, some more camp supplies here. Okay, now we're done in here. So let's continue on around. We'll search the center area here, so holding Alt, there's some research notes. Okay, he's talking about the fact that they are trying to get to true resurrection. Okay, it says the book offers help, but do I dare accept? Okay, so it's talking about some sort of book that is going to help with dealing with undead or reanimating undead. Okay, we can head up here to the office area and we have a gilded chest, guiding bolt, Shadowheart, speak with the dead. We'll send that to Shadowheart. There's a circlet of fire here. We're going to send that to Will. And a wooden desk with some books that we can search. Over here we have a wooden desk. And again some more books. Holding Alt. You can see that there's a book over here called On Death and Resurrection. We'll read that here in a minute. Okay, and you can see that there's another book here called The Evil Eye. Continuing on down this way, there's an antitoxin up on top of the fireplace. And some books that we can search. Again, another bottle rack. Holding Alt, there's another book here we can pick up. We can head up here to this study area. Holding Alt doesn't show us anything, but we do have some options that or some things that we can search in here. We can search the skeleton. We can look at the desk or the table. See that we do have a crystal ball. It's not worth much though. We can continue on with our searching. Okay, nothing much, so now we can search the chest. Did pick up some scrolls. Okay. So looking at our inventory here, we did pick up the On Death and Resurrection book. Perfectly explanatory for what's going on down here in this area. Then we also picked up a Fringe Philosophy, and the Evil Eye is the last one. Just talks about the hags in general and what they are and what they can do. So hags are a very important part of the D&D tabletop monster compendium. We're actually going to get to interact with one later on in our time here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to split the group again.
What's next?
We're going to have Larian cast guidance on himself. We're going to walk him up here. Okay, now, didn't mean to step on that. Okay, so we're going to disarm this. Again, a DC of 10, so I can only fail it with a natural 1. Okay. Alright, now there's a rusted iron gate. We can actually have him open this. It uses the rusted key that I had looted earlier and unlocks that door. Now inside here, you can see that we have a book here called the Necromancy of Thay. Okay, and you can see that there's also a plate that it's on that says disarm. Right? See, we have some gargoyle statues here and here. So that is probably the trap that's going to trigger. So this is kind of your Indiana Jones moment. If any of you remember the Temple of Doom, the book is sitting on the plate. If you remove the book, the plate's going to trigger and the trap is going to activate. So what I'm going to do is go back here and I'm going to just pick up this wooden bowl. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to stand next to this.
The kind Gale might covet.
Okay, and going to open up my inventory and I'm going to take the wooden bowl. I'm going to set it right there. Okay, so now it's sitting on that plate. So now if I take the Necromancy of Thay, the trap does not activate. You could also use Astarion just to disarm this trap. It's just honestly more fun to do it this way. So now I can search these spider silk cocoons over here. Well, there should be 5 of them. Okay. And again, no need to disarm any of those because at this point we're not triggering the trap. So we're going to keep the Necromancy of Thay with us, but we are not going to do anything with it at this point. Okay. What we want to do is leave that with, or deal with that with Gale. But you can look at here and the Wizard of Waterdeep. We found a strange book, the Necromancy of Thay, that has enough weave to interest Gale. Okay, so in other words, that book is magic enough that he may want to consume it to help out the health situation that he's in. But at the same time, we want to try and utilize that book, and we want to try and have him utilize it because it gets the benefits of both. For now, you can see that we did pick up the Circlet of Fire. So the Circlet of Fire is kind of interesting. It says, when you deal fire damage with a non-cantrip spell, you gain a bonus action. So with Will,
Where am I needed?
he has Scorching Ray, which is a fire spell that is not a cantrip. So if he's wearing the Circlet of Fire and he deals damage with the Scorching Ray, then he's going to gain a bonus action. So the Circlet of Fire is definitely your in-combat type of headgear, whereas the Warped Headband of Intellect is kind of your not in-combat type of dealing with NPC encounter type of gear. So I think what I'm going to do for now is kind of swap those back and forth as we go through this. So as we get into combat situations, we'll put the Circlet of Fire on and swap out the Headband of Intellect. But since we are going to be getting into those situations coming up as we continue through the rest of the playthrough today, we'll go ahead and swap that now. Okay. So everything else is fairly good. We do want to take, we have 5 here, we only have 4 here as far as, that says basic poison, but it's got the healing potion icon. So that's interesting. Yep, it shows as basic poison, but it's just strange. Okay. Alright, so this kind of gets us back where we want to be, I think. Yes. Make sure, yes. Okay. So now we're going to
Despite everything,
take a short rest just to get our hit points back. And we're going to head out of this area. We're going to head back up the ladder here. And get back out to the Blighted Village. And now we're going to head into the Whispering Depths. Okay, so we still have our Hex available. Shadowheart's used 1 level 1 spell.
Touch me.
We still have 2 rage charges left, so that's perfect for us. We're going to head back into here. And head into this area. You can see there's a pathway up here. This is the way we're going to go. So we're going to jump up here. Everybody else you can see. Okay, fine. We'll do it the manual way. So we need to get the Starian up here. You can see he jumps up on the boxes, and so will Will. Will do the same thing. He'll climb up on the boxes and jump up. Sometimes it just, like I say, has that pathing area. Or pathing error goes along with it. Okay. So now we are going to hide our group here. We're going to take Will and we're going to get his familiar out. We're going to use the imp again. And the imp is going to hide.
better make my next move.
Alright, now we're going to continue on.
Breathe deep and move.
Okay, so you see we are in the Whispering Depths. And you can see also, for some reason, I'm highlighting all of the characters. So that's interesting. You can see that we do have some hostile creatures over here that we're going to have to be dealing with.
Spiderwebs everywhere.
Everybody failed their survival checks, but it does talk about spiderwebs, which are these. But if you look at it, it kind of gives you some of the information about it. It says this difficult terrain, so your movement speed is going to be cut in half. and as you move across it, you may become enwebbed and can't move. It also says that they're flammable. Now what that means is that if I'm going out here to attack somebody with a flaming sword on this, I may accidentally set this web on fire, and if I do, it's going to disappear and it's going to drop me down to the bottom, and I'm going to take fall damage. So, need to keep that in mind when you're dealing with places like this. What your fire sword is going, the negative effects that it might have on you. Okay? So now we're going to slowly move up to this area, and now we can kind of get a better idea of what's going on out here. So we have an Eder cap here, and this is another Eder cap here at this location. Okay? You can also see that we have, and I can't see it right now, so I can't illuminate it, but that's a phase spider. Okay? Phase spiders are very dangerous enemies in that they can teleport around the map, and they can teleport very large distances around the map. Yeah, you can see it's a phase spider. Okay, so they can teleport very large distances around the map, so you might think that you're standing in a location that is not in range of them. You would probably be wrong about that. Okay? They have a huge range on them that they can move to. So what we want to do here, though, is we want to make an attack starting off here, and we'll see how many of these we aggro when we do this. Okay? Okay, so you can see there are two phase spiders. There's one over there, one right near me. It was all the way down there, like 40 some meters away, and it teleported all the way up here. And then we have two Eder caps. Now the Eder caps, you can see, have a condition called infested. What that means is if they get close to us and they hit us, then we have a chance of becoming infested as well. And hopefully we don't run into that type of scenario, but we'll see what happens. So right now, again, only my Barbarian is in combat. So what we're going to do is, yeah, we're going to rage here. That's going to take my bonus action. Okay. We're going to run up here and execute an attack here. Now this attack is probably not going to hit, but we can try, and again,
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
execute Bless here. Okay, that's going to put her into combat.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Okay. And you'll see what kind of happens here. So we're going to try and execute this attack. Critical hit for 22. Like I say, that those words "all in," they mean something. Okay? They really do mean something. Alright, so now we're going to get Astarion here to... Okay, so he's got disadvantage against the target, and that's because the target's outside of normal range. So let's see if I can move him up to a spot where he does not have disadvantage. Okay, so the target's obscured now. So what we can do is we can bring Will up here. Okay, and we can have Will cast Dancing Lights.
Easy does it.
I didn't want to pickpocket him. Okay, and I can cast Dancing Lights over here. Okay, and now he's no longer obscured, so now with Astarion, see, I have advantage on him. So now I can execute a sneak attack ranged on him. Right, and enter combat that way. Now with the Imp, I can fly over to here. And I can try and get a sting in. Or do I want to... No. What I actually want to do is take him around this way. And try and get this Ettercap to attack me. So let's do a sting here. Oh, wow. Got 2 critical hits there. So, very nice. And now Will is still not in combat. So we are going to... We're going to reapply the hex here. And that's going to put him into combat as well. Okay, so we've used up all of our movement here. Okay, so we're going to end our turn. Alright, so looks like we had a web thrown at us by the Ettercap over here. Alright, so Astarion now has a chance, but he has disadvantage because the target's obscured. And Will is not able to cast anything at this time. So it looks like we'll just have to take a regular shot here. It's still an 81% chance to hit, though. Okay, good.
My faith will protect me.
Okay, now Shadowheart can move up.
On the move.
She has Sacred Flame cantrip, which she can cast.
Prepare to die.
Okay, and he made his saving throw. That's unfortunate. Now the second Ettercap is going to be able to attack. Okay. Now you can see that the Imp is now infested. And it's basically you're taking poison damage, 1d4 poison damage every turn, but you basically have these little tiny spiders that you can see are actually crawling on the Ettercap. See them? And now that he hit me in a melee attack, I'm infested with them. So that infestation lasts for 3 turns. So we're going to go ahead and try and make another sting. Okay. Perfect. And now we have some options here. So I can dash. Let's go ahead and dash. Okay, that's going to get me lightning charges. And now I still can't make it all the way over there. But what I can do is jump down here. Now I'm going to take some damage when I do this. jumping is going to take my bonus action, though. Which means I would not be able to make another strike. So, at this point, I didn't want to dash. Because I don't have an action to be able to make or deal damage. So my rage is going to end here. Trying to see if there's anything that I can pick up and throw. I actually can. Okay. So maybe we can do that. Yeah. Okay, if it hits the imp, I don't really care, because Will can summon another one. Okay. I think that's still going to end his rage, because I'm not entirely sure that hit. Okay. We're going to cast Elder's Blast here. End the turn. This phase spider is content not to move. This one's going to dash and try and get into melee range down here. And now Astarion, he doesn't have advantage because the target's obscured again, but he can make a regular attack. Okay. This one's going to be way out of bounds. But we'll move her up here. Okay. Alright. So there's a kill, so we'll end her turn. Now the imp can fly. Alright, see if we can make a sting attack here. Alright, good deal. Alright. We're going to... Can we... We can make an attack here. Perfect. Okay, now all that's left is the phase spider. Okay, so we have a bonus action here, so... Because the phase spider's way down here. So we're going to try and draw him out. That's going to take some damage. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, that's going to end Will's turn. Now the phase spider is now going to move, so we drew it out. Okay. So, now Astarion has high ground over it, so he should be able to make a sneak attack. Oh, he needs advantage. So he can hide.
They won't know what bit them.
Okay, he can move up here, and now we should be able to make a sneak attack ranged. Okay, got some big damage off. Enough. So we will try just a regular ranged attack here. Okay, perfect. Alright, so we're gonna kind of bring everybody together here. and you'll see kind of what happens with these webs, these spider webs. Okay, you're going to see it when my Barbarian tries to cross them. Okay, made his saving throw there. And made his saving throw there. Okay. But they're also early warning systems. Meaning that if you get enwebbed, it lets out a gong sound that can alert nearby enemies. Okay, see? That sound it makes can alert nearby enemies. So you need to be kind of careful when you're moving around these areas, because if there are enemies that are not revealed yet, this can possibly alert them to your location. Alright, so here we have a spider silk cocoon that we can search. Nothing worthwhile. We do have another skeleton. Okay. And we have another spider web here with a backpack on it.
No traps, please.
Alright, so some gold and a carnelian ring.
On my way.
Okay. And being enwebbed, if there's nothing going on, is not a big deal. It's just, it's going to wear off when you're not in combat, so it's not a big deal to become enwebbed. You can see down here is the well bucket. If you click on the well up in the Blighted Village, this is where you come down into the Whispering Depths. Right? Now up here is the way that we came in. Okay? So basically when you get down to this area, you can split and head down this way, or you can stay up here where we were. I always come in this way because going down this way, the phase spider that's down below is able to get to you easier, and the Eder cap that is right down here tends to come up this way, and you can be in melee range of them really, really fast. So it's normally better if you come in this way and keep all of the enemies as far, at arm's length as much as you can while you're going through. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we're going to come down to the bottom part here just so we can do some searching around. Okay, so we're going to come over here. Once the webbing wears off. Okay, and we're going to come down here to the bottom. And we'll just wait for everybody to join us here real quick. Okay, so you can see we have some things to search down here. Now remember, the apprentice was mentioned in the book in the Necromancer's Cave. So you can read this, and it lets you know more information about Ilintoth and how to pass through the mirror. You don't have to go through the mirror before you come to the Whispering Depths. So this is another way to gather more information with the correct answers to give to the mirror to get through it without a fight. Okay? But it's basically talking about the fact that he stole the tome, but he was gonna return it, and he's gonna slip into the cellar, take what he can carry, and then head home. So it was one of the choices that was given to you. It wasn't Ilintoth that wanted to go home, it was the apprentice. So that's what lets you know that choice with the mirror is wrong, is because that's not what Ilintoth wanted to do. Okay. So we're going to send this to Starian, and this is going to go to Will. Okay, then we have the skeleton, which is his. Okay, and we'll deal with what's there in a minute. So we do have another spider silk cocoon that we can search. The rusted blade we can pick up. And there's a skeleton search. Alright, over here we have a backpack. We have our first potion of greater healing, which is always good. Spider silk cocoon, and another one here, which we can't search, but we can shoot it. And sometimes they will drop something, and this one dropped a torch. Okay, we can pick up our smoke powder satchel, which we do, and we can search the Yetter cap here. Okay, so nothing there. Nothing else that we can pick up here. So we're going to continue going over this way first, and there's some spider silk cocoons that we can search. Dagger. Some gold. Nothing there. Gloves, sure, why not? And we can shoot this one. And it dropped a potion of healing on the ground and a potion of invisibility. So you always want to shoot those that are hanging up there, because you never know what you're going to get out of them. That dropped a leather helmet. Okay, there's the old backpack that we were searching, that we were looking at previously. We're going to head on into this area here. Okay, so some water, which we don't need. Torches, which we don't need. Holding Alt, we can kind of search around in this area over here. Search the bottle racks. Wooden barrels, more water. More wooden crates to look through here. And we have some books. There's nothing special about those books. You don't have to read them. See that we have a heavy chest over here. We also have a tattered journal. So let's read the journal first. This is talking about what happened in this cave. Basically it says that they can sense my devotion. Whispers from the Dark Mother, and I woke to a gift wrapped in spider silk, a pair of boots taken from a heretic's corpse. Lolth, who's the spider queen, or spider god, sends her daughters to reward my faith. This is what was going on down here, is that this person was trying to become a devotee to Lolth. Okay? And as part of that, they were trying anything they could to turn themselves into a spider. That's it. I will forever transform this blasphemous flesh and refashion myself in the Queen's image. Okay? Today I found the House of Lolth, and I shall be its matriarch. So it looks like they were successful, and this is going to lead us into what's going to happen here in a second. So we'll go to the Bloody Journal. This is more. So her name was Eliette, but she was, again, trying to become a servant of the Spider Queen. And you will see soon that they succeeded. So there's a ritual diagram here, which talks more about this. Two figures, a spider and an elf, are sketched within overlapping circles, and a single word is pinned beneath them: transcendence. So, in other words, she was an elf trying to transform herself into a spider and transcend to a new type of existence. So we're going to search through these here. Send that to Shadowheart Web. We'll definitely stay with Will. And now we have...
Well, hello.
A heavy chest. And here's the boots. that were mentioned in that scroll. Okay, so first thing is the spider step boots. So you are immune to being enwebbed. Again, extraordinarily useful for moving around this area or any other area where you may have somebody cast the spell web on you. Basically, this just means that you are completely immune to being enwebbed as you're moving around. So, the Speedy Light Feet boots are what I want to get lightning charges to my Barbarian to help offset that minus. So he's not going to wear them, so I'm going to put the Spider Step boots on Astarion and let him have those. Okay. For the rest of it, we just picked up some simple boots. Nobody needs any of that. There is a leather helmet that I can give to Astarion, which basically gives him +1 to dexterity saves. And then as far as gloves, we can give somebody some gloves, but they don't really do anything. Just aesthetics at this point. Okay. So, we did pick up also the Spurred Band. So, during combat, whenever you start your turn with 50% hit points or less, you'll gain momentum for 1 turn. So, right now with the Haste Helm, I get momentum for 3 turns. This can help extend that for a little bit longer. So if I'm in combat for a while and I start taking a lot of damage, then and my momentum runs out from the Haste Helm, then this could possibly give me a chance to gain momentum for 1 more turn after that. So I'll just apply it there. There's really no other reason to give it to anybody else at this point. So let's continue on searching through here, holding Alt. You can see there's a cleaver over here.
Where am I needed?
Up. You can search the viscera on the table. There's nothing there. Some bottles.
And I'm off.
There's another crate. And there's a burnt journal up here. Which... just go pick it up and then I can read it. Put on Will the burnt journal here. In her form, I find ecstasy. The spell is not enough. So again, what was happening down here,
Can't give up now.
fairly straightforward now. And we are going to see the results of that here coming up. So now you can see I can move back up here using the Cragged Rock. So at this point, I have explored pretty much everything down here that I want to, but we'll go open up kind of the rest of this, and we can come down here into this area. You'll see there's another spider silk cocoon here. It dropped a malachite. There's also a studded shield and a greatsword over here. Now this greatsword, again, is unenchanted, and remember, if we want to enchant or forge one of the 3 masterwork weapons, then we need to have an unenchanted version of it. So the greatsword here we don't want to sell, we want to keep it. For at some point we're going to turn it into one of our masterwork weapons. Okay, and again, the well bucket is what's going to take you back up to the top. Over here, there is access to a waterfall here. There's nothing in here, but we do have another spider silk cocoon and another one here. So now you can hold Alt and see that they dropped a malachite, and there's an old backpack that we can search over here. Another potion of healing. We're going to send that to Astarion, I think. There's a hand drum. We're going to send that to Will. And this is the first time, I think I talked about the perform ability that he had. Okay, so I'm just looking here. Okay. So his perform class action now changed to a drum icon. So, interesting. So it's now on his back. Okay, interesting. Okay. So, I did not know that interaction with the bard in Sylvanas' Grove would grant that the performability to whoever did it. That's just rather interesting. I didn't know that was an option in the game. So, this is where we were previously, so we can continue on searching some of these items. Okay, and we already searched the Etter Cap, so now we can head off this way. Okay, so there's a torch up here, and there's a spider web that leads up into this area up here. Let's go. Make your saving throw. And you will now recognize this area because this is the broken wall that we came through from the basement next to the forge. Okay? So now you can kind of recognize where we are in this entire area here. And I don't think you can jump up. Oh, yeah. Okay, but there's also a cragged rock which leads you down into this area here. Okay, as well as the waterfall, or the spiderweb, which we just came across. We'll go ahead and track down here to the bottom. Okay, and there's nothing to search or find down in here. As yet. But again, don't take that for granted. Can't jump over here or anything like that. Don't take that for granted. This might become a more of an exploration area during the full release of the game. But for right now, there's nothing that you can do down here. But just be aware that it's here. Okay, so we'll come back up. And we'll go back down across the spider web over here. Back where we were. And he is carrying the drum on his back. That's very interesting. Okay, so now we're going to head up this way, and we're going to get back up to the high ground where we were. We have a phase spider egg that we can pick up. We also have a spider silk cocoon with another potion of healing. And we have a dead goblin. Okay, so holding alt, looking around. Okay, nothing here. Now in this area here, I'm going to hide. I'm going to take my second short rest. I want to be at full hit points when I do this. I want to save. I think it's going to auto-save anyway, but just want to make sure. So we're going to come into this area. You can see now we're starting to see some enemies. Okay. So there's a phase spider there. And then right there is the phase spider matriarch. This is what that elf, Elliot, turned into. You can see it's a big, bad enemy. Got 125 hit points. There are 2 more phase spiders around it there. And there are also these phase spider eggs. Now the matriarch can take its turn and it can hatch these eggs, and they become spiderlings, which are miniature phase spiders. And those miniature phase spiders can transport around the map just like a regular phase spider can. So it can get very, very dangerous if you let her hatch all of these phase spider eggs. And there are 3 groups of them. One there, and one here. So what you want to try and do is take out as many of those egg clutches as you can before you start this fight. Okay? And it looks like you can shoot from here. Okay? I want to make sure the phase spider matriarch turns around. As long as you can shoot them without moving onto the bridge, then you're fine. Okay, so you can see I'm going to be moving a little bit closer to shoot that one. Okay, so I think that's still okay. Okay, this one going to be moving even a bit farther out, but I'm still okay. Alright, so that's what I wanted to have happen. Okay, so now she cannot hatch any of those. Now we want to deal with this over here. To do that, I'm going to take my party and I'm going to group it back up, and I'm going to move around to the other side. Okay, so I don't have to be hidden for any of this because I'm just going to move myself over to another section of the map. And that's this section down here. Okay, so all I have to do is climb myself down to this bottom area. Shadowheart, is she encumbered? Or Astarian's encumbered? Okay. Can deal with that. Okay, he's got 5 healing potions on him. So does everybody, so I'll just put this one over. Oh, that's that basic poison. That's right. So the Necromancy of Thay, I can just have somebody else carry it from. The Rusted Key I don't need, so I can send it to camp. And the Moss Covered Key I still can't do anything with. Okay, so now I'm down here on the bottom. We're going to move over here to this side. We've got some more searching that we can do. Alright, here's that Ettercap that we killed earlier. Nothing there. You have a wooden barrel we can search, nothing in it. And we do have a spider web here, which we can shoot and open up. Okay, hold Alt, and you can see that there was some stuff that was dropped. Gloves, simple boots, scroll of grease. And we can come into this back area over here. And now you can see that we have another way to come, to get forward down into this area. We can keep on the high ground. Here, this is where the Matriarch is, patrolling back and forth here. But there's another clutch of eggs right there. What we want to do now is put everybody in hiding. We're going to toggle the group I'm gonna head down here.
What's in here?
I can search these bones while I'm down here. There's the autosave.
Never wanted the easy path.
Now this phase spider is immobile. It's not going to turn around. Okay, but I can try and get a combat strike. I don't think you can attack it from up here. I think it's too far out of range from up here. Oh, it's not. Okay, so we're going to try and attack it from up here. Okay, so we hit it. It went into combat. Made its attack. Okay, so that's the only two that are in combat right now, again. So we're going to have him make another attack from here. Okay. And now we can try and get others into combat from here. So we can move people back around this way.
They won't see me coming.
Okay, so there's disadvantage because the target is obscured.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Can use dancing lights, but that would be the only time that I have to be able to use dancing lights, and I think I want to save dancing lights for the next fight that's going to come up. So I think we're just going to go ahead and try and make an 80% chance to hit here. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to move Astarion back over here. Put him back into hiding.
Time for discretion.
Now we'll take Dorval, we'll move him back here out of the way. Go back into hiding.
Friendly looking shadow.
He's going to go search the space spider. They don't normally have anything on them, but we'll search him anyway. Okay, and then we can search this pile of bones. And now from here,
Been a long day.
we can try and
To rest soon.
kill these phase spider eggs. So let's go ahead and just make all the attacks on these.
You picked the wrong fight, friend.
Okay, so far so good. He's going to have to move down to the bottom. Okay. So that's good. We did not disturb the next phase spider, and we did not disturb the Matriarch up above it. Okay. So there are a couple of things we can do down here. Okay, so that search, there's nothing there. We're going to hold off on searching any of this other stuff down here until we deal with the Matriarch. And that is what we are going to do next.
Light on my feet.
Okay, and to do that, we're going to stay on the high ground. Alright. So we're going to make our way back over here. And we're going to get this
Breathe
fight
deep
started.
And move.
Okay, so we're going to hide here. Just so we can make sure we know where all the detection cones are. We're going to go ahead and split our group here. We're going to have Will get his familiar out again. And the imp we want to make sure is hidden.
What now?
And we're going to have Jorval move out to here.
Time to press ahead.
Okay, we again want him to take the brunt of most of these attacks, but we also want the phase spider Matriarch to come after him. The other thing that we want to do is, now that we're dealing with spiders, we want to equip Vision of the Absolute. Because again, it deals an additional 2d6 piercing damage to creatures that sport multiple sets of eyes. So that's going to give us a big damage bonus over what we were using previously once the 2d6 kicks in. Okay, so right now it's 1d6 plus 3 as opposed to 2d6 plus 3. We get another 2d6 from this, so this is 3d6 plus 3 as opposed to 2d6 plus 3 plus 1d4. So there's a damage bonus increase by using the Vision of the Absolute against spiders. So that's why what we want to use for his weapon here while we're going through this. So the only downside to that is that this is not a heavy weapon. So my Great Weapon Master feat is not going to trigger here because I do not have a heavy weapon involved, right? But in this case, I'm fighting at a disadvantage a lot of the time because of the way this place is lit up and how they're obscured. So I think I want to deal more consistent damage as opposed to a chance to deal a lot of damage at a time when I'm going to be at a disadvantage for most of it anyway. So I'm going to leave the Vision of the Absolute. It's the first time I've done a playthrough utilizing this in this fight. So we'll kind of see how it goes here. Right?
Now what?
For Astarion, I'm going to initiate the fight with Astarion.
Step carefully.
So to do that, I think I'm going to move him up here. Don't think I'll be able to hit her no matter where she is, but I'll be able to hit the phase spider down there. And in attacking from right there, I'm going to be out of line of sight of the phase spider matriarch. So when combat initiates, it's going to move to a spot where it can try and attack me or attack Astarion, and when it does that, it might move into a spot where it's within melee range of my Barbarian as well. I'm going to... Alright. That's... Oh boy. I really wish that mechanic was not in the game. Thankfully I missed. If you have an attack command active and you click a portrait, it's going to shoot at that person. Boy. Thankfully that didn't hit, but it could have. So, for now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave Will, and actually I'm going to move Will and his imp back this way.
Not a peep.
Because I want to be able to get him to a position that is going to be very specifically located, and I want to make sure that he has no possibility of entering combat when this thing triggers off. And for Shadowheart, I'm just going to move her up close to this wall here so that she can definitely stay out of combat as well. Okay, so now I'm going to trigger this with Astarion. So it's disadvantage. So I can't do a sneak attack. All I can do is a normal attack here, but that's fine. Okay. So you can see it hatched these eggs here, and now it moved over right next to me. This phase spider moved up here and landed a critical hit on Astarion. Great. Okay, so I am definitely going to move Astarion out of here. Okay, so the Phase Spider Matriarch is going to get an attack here as soon as this ends. So... must have advantage against the target. Let's see if I can hide.
We'll do it my way.
Nope. Let's see if I can move back here.
On the way.
See if I can hide here. Nope. Oh. No, it said hiding was successful, but it's not. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and make an attack here with only 4 left. Okay, that kills it. Now I'm going to move as far as I can out of here. Okay, and now I want to get some other people into this fight. So let's see what I can do with Will here. Okay, so the Phase Spider Matriarch has moved all the way up here.
Every step counts.
So let's take Will's imp and let's fly it over here right in front of the Phase Spider Matriarch. I want it to get into combat. Okay, so now maybe the Phase Spider Matriarch's going to go after the imp. It also separates the imp from Will, so it's not following me around. I don't think Will's going to have the strength to make this, but good thing here is I can Misty Step. Okay. Now I can get over to here. What I want to be able to do is cast Cloud of Daggers on all of them. Okay, so I'm going to cast it right here. Okay, and that killed all but one of them. And it put Will into combat. So it looks like I missed one with the Cloud of Daggers, but I don't think I would have been able to get all of them anyway. Oh, it must have just moved it based upon what I was pointing at. But if it phases, it can get out of here. If it tries to walk out of there, it's going to die. Right? Now the only person left not in combat is Shadowheart. And what I want to do with Shadowheart is take her the long way around. No, let's not, because either way I'm not going to be able to get to Astarion with a heal. So let's go ahead and use just a level 1 healing word on Astarion.
Take you.
And that's going to put her into combat. Alright, so now Astarion's turn ends, and now the Phase Spider Matriarch's going to get a turn here. Oh. Critical hit after critical hit. Okay, so Astarion is downed, so I have to get somebody to heal them or use the help action. Okay. But as part of this, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rage. Okay, now I have an action. So I'm just going to dash over here right next to it. So hopefully it comes after me. It's with its next attack. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to move to here.
Don't waste a step.
I'm going to take my imp. Yes, I get it. I'm going to move my imp out here. I'm going to fly. Is not moving down there, is it? Okay. Now I'm going to try and get a sting. Okay, 6 points of damage, that's good. Now I can go back to him and can try the rush attack. Okay, so the path is interrupted here. So I can't use the rush attack, so let's try and use a piercing shot. Perfect. Okay, so that ends his turn and the imp's turn. I don't see what the spiderling does, so it phased over to go after Will. That's fine. Okay, so now here I'm going to use Healing Word to get Astarion up. Now I'm going to move out here as far as I can, and I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at level 2. See if I can just get a hit here. It's only a 36% chance to hit. Perfect, because now it's got Guiding Bolt. So it gives you advantage, even though it's got disadvantage from target obscured, and that's what you wanted to see. Okay, so I can end her turn. Astarion here. I think what I'm going to do is skip to Will and have Will kill this one here. So Elder's Blast is 1 to 10, but he's got all the bonuses that go along with it. So yes. Right? And now I want to get him back.
No time to waste.
Okay, so he became enwebbed. That's fine. Just need to get him back to a spot where he can start doing some ranged damage here. So now back to Astarion. He's got 2 bonus actions. I think I'm just going to take a couple of healing potions here because he's really hurt. And I'm going to get him out of line of sight. Okay, so that he can move out, take an attack, and then move back. Yeah, I think that's going to be what I wanted. So, can I reapply Hex from here? I can. Let's see. I want a Hex Strength, and I cannot get all them. So I'll just end the turn. Here's the Matriarch's turn. Okay, so it moved, it got a critical hit, and it moved over here. Alright. So, now what I can do is I can dash, and then still do a Frenzied Strike after I've dashed. So, let's dash. Get all the way over here.
Light on my feet.
And I want a Frenzied Strike. Oh, that was stupid. Okay. That was just idiotic that the game pathing like that gave it an attack of opportunity against me. That was just dumb. Okay, so now we're gonna do another fly. to here. Going to fly again to right here. And we're going to get off another sting. Okay, that missed. Now, I want to start getting off. We still have the guiding bolt's now gone, so the target's obscured again. So we want to see if we can get... Again, it's only 36%. So... let's cast a Bless here. I know the target can't be an enemy. Okay, I'm just going to have to do it this way. Okay. I think I'm going to end her turn with that. Well, she can cast Shield of Faith. But I think I'm actually going to get a healing word here on George.
Take your...
Okay. Cut and run.
Now, he's not... He does not have disadvantage, so he should be able to make a sneak attack here. Let's actually move him first. Over here.
Let's go.
Have him do his sneak attack from here. Perfect.
This is my time.
Now Will can reapply Hex here, and we're going to reapply a Constitution Hex. Okay, and he's going to cast Eldritch Blast and missed. Okay, let's try and move him back off of the web. Oh, this is going to be bad. Alright. So when it's enraged, it's got Spider Queen's Wrath. That is now... Strength is increased by 2 and its armor class was reduced by 1. So it gives it an addition... When it attacks, it gives it additional strength damage. To what it's got. And see, its strength is now 21. So it's got +5 to all of its damage that it's doing. So, but now we're here, so let's go ahead and do a Frenzied Strike. Okay, 8, 1, and another 10. So again, some big damage here. And now we have our regular attack that we can do. 7, 2, and 1. So you see we're doing some serious damage with this. And you see it's blinded it for 2 turns. So using the Vision of the Absolute is really, really nice because they're normally immune to being blinded. But here, they're not, and that gives me advantage against that target with everybody else who rolls with it. So here, advantage blinded. So Vision of the Absolute absolutely is the way to go here. So it's got a 60% chance, it's got advantage blinded, but the target is obscured from where she's at, so... Just go ahead and see what the cantrip will do. That's 50%, whereas the ranged attack is 60. Alright, so it's almost dead. Now here, advantage blinded, so I can make a sneak attack ranged, and this should kill it. Okay. So, Vision of the Absolute is absolutely the way to go. Absolutely the way to go. So just keep that in mind. when you're going through this, that there are a few different encounters where the Everburn blade should be swapped out for something else. So, at this point in the playthrough, those are the only phase spiders that you're going to encounter. So, the Vision of the Absolute now can probably be put into your camp chest and just, you know, gotten rid of, but kept. So if you run into an encounter with phase spiders again in the future, or ettercaps for that matter, ettercaps are the same way, you have the option to pull that weapon out of storage, so to speak, and use it again. But for now, that's the only use that we're going to have for it. So I'm just going to throw it away. And now that I'm done with the combat, I'm going to put the Warped Headband of Intellect back on here. And I think we're good. Sure. Okay, and I can give Will some leather gloves. Again, doesn't really matter though. Simple boots for him might be interesting, but we'll leave it how it is. Okay, so now let's do some looting. First is the Phase Spider Matriarch, so we definitely want to give the Poisoner's Robe to Will. Okay, and we can look at that real quick. The Poisoner's Robe is basically whenever the wearer casts a spell that deals poison damage, it deals an additional 1d4 poison damage. You're not going to be utilizing spells that cast poison damage very much with Will until you get to utilizing any scrolls that he has, like Ray of Sickness. So if he casts Ray of Sickness, that is now going to do, while he's wearing this, is going to do an additional 1d4 poison damage. So it's one of those things where it doesn't hurt you to wear it. It's the same armor class as the simple robe that I've got, but if I do choose to cast Ray of Sickness, I'm going to get an additional 1d4 poison damage out of it. So there's no reason not to wear it at this point. So, but that's what you get out of it. It's the Poisoner's Robe. So, you can group everybody back up, and again, now we can start
Light on my feet.
looting through this. And again, the phase spiders normally don't have anything. Right. Okay, so what we want to do is now come down this way through the knotted roots, and we can start searching this bottom area that we were at a little bit ago. So there's a skeleton to search here. Okay, another longbow and a silver necklace. Some bones over here. Dagger. Okay, nothing here. Then around this corner. Okay, holding Alt periodically just to make sure. Okay, and now you see that there's a waypoint that we discovered here.
Something good here, I hope.
Which is nice because once we've looted all of the stuff down here, this gives us a way to get back to Sylvanus' Grove quickly instead of having to walk our way all the way back. Alright, so now we can come up here on this side. This cragged rock gives us another way to get back up to the top. You can see by holding Alt, the dark amethyst appears.
I feel a breeze. I wonder what's down there.
Yeah, I wonder what's down there.
By all means, you first.
By all means, you first. Yeah, I'm not going down there. Okay. Then we can continue on this way, and there's another skeleton to search over here. Okay. Nothing else to look at over this way. Nothing here. Now that is kind of interesting. In that something's showing on the map here. Interesting. Go back to the main. So I don't have any Warlock spell slots left. I'm out of short rests. So I can't get Misty Step back.
No one stopped me yet.
I don't see anything that looks like I would be able to jump over there. But maybe you can? I don't know. I'll have to remember that. I've never gone over there or tried to go over there past, so I don't think there's anything over there. It's just a weird section of the map. Okay. So I can come up here. Now, none of the spiderlings have anything on them. You can search them, but none of them have anything. And it's all a poison surface over there, so you don't want to go walking through it. Okay, and we can head over here. Back the way we came. There is some bones here, I believe. Nope, there's not. Okay. So that takes care of everything here to search. Okay, so let's head back, and we'll head back down to the waypoint. You can see from our map, opened everything up. There is this strange little section over here. It doesn't have a white outline around it like the other areas do, so I'm not thinking that there's anything there. But it just looks a little strange. I think I searched the skeleton. Yes. Okay, so
I'll give it a shot.
this is another important thing to remember. You don't have to touch the rune circle to fast travel. You can just, from your map right now, click on Sylvanus' Grove and fast travel there. Just like that. So, don't think that you have to go touch the rune circle to fast travel. Those just open up the waypoints that you can utilize your map to fast travel to whenever you feel like it. So, I find myself trying to reach it, make my way back to a rune circle sometimes as well, so it's very common to do it, but try and break yourself of that habit.
A hungry minotaur with a hankering for human flesh. An axe-bearing mountain of fur she was. Gave me a nasty scar.
You'll have to show it to me sometime.
Okay, let's head back in here and talk to Aaron and see what he has.
Need anything else? Of course, but please, remember, you're not the only one in need.
Okay, so nothing really in here, just the things that we've sold back. So let's head down to
Sylvanus be with you.
Damon first. What we'll do is we'll sell our items down here, clean out our inventory, and then we'll take another long rest. After the long rest is done, we'll probably end the stream and then start thinking about what we're going to be doing next week and what you'll be in store for. So for now, let's just see if we can...
Steel. I have, well, something close.
Okay, so still do have we have another light crossbow +1. So let's go ahead and have Will sell everything that he can, and then whatever he can't, because we're going to run out of money, then we'll go back to Aaron if need to gather some more gold. But let's go ahead and just sell all this off and see what we get. I'm actually going to keep one longbow.
I think that's everything. What will we do for work when we get to the city?
Whatever we want.
I think I'd make a
Okay,
fine
so
teacher, or a baker, or a butcher.
getting a decent amount here.
A butcher? Really?
Sure, blood excites me.
Alright,
Right.
so nothing here from Astarion. We do have a bunch of items here that we need to transfer to Will. We're going to leave the greatsword there. We're going to have Will sell all of these items as well. And we'll see what this gets us, and if we have enough money buy, because the smoke powder satchel charge we can always sell as well. So, alright, so let's sell this and see where we end up.
I'll talk to the guards in Baldur's Gate. I speak their language.
Okay, so we're at 1363. That's not enough to buy
In the middle of your shift.
anything, I don't think. Oh, it might be.
Like your father.
It is enough to buy another light crossbow, so I could increase Will's range damage. The light crossbow plus 1 is 1d8 plus 1, and this is 1d8 plus 1, so it would be a straight upgrade for Astarion as well. Shadowheart could use the light crossbow plus 1. And I've already got one here. But we also have another opportunity to get another armor class point. 1575, we don't have enough to buy that. Okay. Some of the other items, we've got some great clubs and some daggers. Nothing much. I think we're just going to go ahead and buy the light crossbow. Okay, that can be a straight upgrade for his, so now we can sell his light crossbow back. Alright, and I think
What will we do for work
that's
when we get
it.
to the city?
Whatever we want.
I think I'd make a fine teacher.
Okay, let's head back to
or a butcher.
Aaron up here. And see if got a loot. Just for my own reasons, I don't like Will carrying a drum around on his back.
Need anything else? Of course, but please, remember, you're not the only one in need.
Because I think I sold a loot to him. Let me look here. Let's see. Must not have. Okay, or maybe I did and it just doesn't show up. The performance items. Maybe they just don't show up here as being sold. But one way or another.
Sylvanus be with you.
I think that gets me what I need. So now we're gonna again head back outside here. And we are going to take our long rest.
Why? That's right.
But why?
And again, this is me just trying to move toward a rune circle that I don't have to fast travel. But for now, let's go ahead and take our long rest. See if we have any conversations to deal with here. Okay, so we do have a conversation with Gale. But let's go ahead and get some of the others out of the way first.
Need something? Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now, I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again. It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. Their obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. And a true vampire. People think the biggest threat to a vampire is a cleric with a stake. It's not. The biggest threat to a vampire is another vampire. They're scheming, paranoid, power-hungry beasts. So why would any vampire give up control over a spawn to create a competitor? Trust me, it doesn't happen. I won't lie. It's tempting. If I keep the tadpole, I risk transforming into a grotesque monster. If I lose the tadpole, Cazador has control of me, body and soul, and I return to the shadows. It's grim either way. So why not sell what's left of my soul to a devil? Better he has it than Cazador. You're familiar with the phrase, better the devil you know? I know Cazador, and I'll take anything that saves me from that. And clearly the tadpole. If we can't understand it, we'll never control it. And I'm not about to hand control of my life from a vampire lord to those slimy grey beasts. I've already apologized. What more do you want? Unless you're looking for another nibble. No innocence. You have my word. Only villains that we need to kill anyway. After all, you know what I am now. I can fight with all my weapons. Teeth included. And if I happen to drain the occasional bandit during a fight, what's the harm? They're just as dead. As am I. I'm starting to feel a little peckish already.
Okay, so that clears up a few things there. So now let's talk to Lae'zel real quick.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Speak.
Okay, nothing new here. We're gonna talk to Will.
Well met.
Nothing new with Will. Actually, we are going to leave Will.
Well met.
Let's make sure we know what he's carrying. Okay, so nothing else is going to... We're gonna get a transfer of 3 items, it looks like. Back to me, but that's not a problem. We've got the dark amethyst. We'll move this here. So now what you can do is you can combine the dark amethyst. Oh, you can't combine it. You just take care of it when you're doing that part. So let's go ahead and leave Will here in the...
You sure about that? I'm one of a kind. And and just when things were warming up.
Okay, so yeah, all of those things, the orange quest items moved from Will to me when I removed him from the party.
May the darkness protect you.
Okay, so this is all the same stuff that we've talked about before. Let's talk to Gale now.
So, we found an artifact rife with magic. It's just the thing I need. May I? I will consume the magic inside. What was a powerful artifact will be rendered no more than a trinket. But it will save my life, even if only temporarily.
Okay, so here you have an option. So you can give him the Necromancy of Thay, and he will destroy it and absorb the weave inside. Or you can keep the Necromancy of Thay and you can go through a set of checks while reading it to try and gain a permanent power. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with that at the beginning of
time is of the essence.
Our live stream next week.
If you're not willing to part with this artifact, so be it. But I implore you to be on the lookout for another. As luck would have it, Faerun is full of them, though I do feel obliged to point out that items of power tend to be in the hands of the powerful. There'll be danger involved, or great cost. Good. A bit of boldness will serve us well. I know the allure these artifacts hold. I understand their value and their power. All this to say, I understand the sacrifice I ask of you. I hope I can count on you.
Okay, so I think we're going to start off our live stream next week,
Go ahead.
making a decision on what to do with the Necromancy of Thay. So go ahead and leave me, we'll put him into our party for now, and leave me a comment in the comments section and let me know what you think. Should we let Gale consume the Necromancy of Thay, or should we go through an attempt to gain a permanent power from reading the Necromancy of Thay itself? So I will leave that choice to you, and we will see what comes in next week. So I think next week we'll start off with that, and then we will probably continue on through the Blighted Village to the Toll House and explore that area of the map, and also deal with the treasure cargo that is being transported through the wilderness probably, and see how that goes. But until then, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. As always, without your support, none of this would be possible at all. So this is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, fare thee well.